Okay, sure. Yes. Awesome.
Hold on 2 seconds. Let me figure out how to mute myself.
Hi, Sarah.
Hello, good afternoon.
Thank you for joining us online. We love it, and we can see you in here. And thank you, Katie. Thank you all very much. During the meeting, if you can, we hope you'll let us see your faces so we know that you're in here with us. So thank you for joining us. There we go. 1, 2. Let's see if, do I have it on? 1, 2, 1, 2. Yes. Very good. Thank you all very, very much for joining us today to our 2024 United Way Workplace Campaign Kickoff. We are so pleased to have all of you with us today, joining us in person here in our audience at the beautiful Brad D. Smith Center for Business and Innovation. Thank you very much, Marshall University, for hosting our kickoff today. And we also have some folks joining us online. Some of our funded partners are joining us online today too as well. Of course, as you know, United Way of the River Cities covers 6 counties, so we have a very large service area, and sometimes it's difficult for our funded partners to get all the way to Huntington if we're going to do a kickoff here. So we appreciate them being able to join us online via the beautiful technology here at the Brad Smith Center. We also want to recognize some of our board members from United Way of the River Cities that are here today. We have our president, and if you wouldn't mind, please stand. Susan Beth Robinson, President, United Way Board. She's from Marshall Health Network. We also have Dr. Robin Ashford from Marshall University here. Dr. Kim Brodel-Zog here from Marshall University. And of course, Tootie Carter, who's been very nice to help us here today too, as well. Thank you, Tootie. Our theme for the campaign this year is creating opportunities together, and we're going to talk a little bit about that here in just a few minutes. We also are going to be recognizing some of our funded partners, and we have a lot of those folks with us today. We'll be introducing them as we go through our program. Right now, we want to recognize our sponsors for our kickoff party today. That is Hammers Industries of Huntington, West Virginia. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you, Hammers Industries. We'd also like to recognize our other special sponsors for this event, Karen and Rod Atkins. And Mr. Atkins and your family, would you please stand or give us a wave and let us know that you're here with us? Thank you all very much. I wanted to introduce you a little bit and let you know why Rod and Karen are sponsoring the event today. These are good friends of mine, okay? And they've been really good to me over the years, but they understand the importance of building community. And can you all hear me okay? Okay, I'm gonna make sure I was loud enough. But they understand the importance of building community. And at their annual Mantown gatherings, and don't get it wrong, women go to Mantown too. But when this started, I guess when they moved into their country place, Karen said, I get the house and you get the garage. And the garage became Mantown. And so they have these big cookout parties and they bring everybody from the community. They had all kinds of friends, diverse friends, all kinds of different backgrounds. Some of them were educators like Rod was. Some of them were from the hospital. Some of their kids, of course, brought their friends and family. And they brought everybody together and they did this annually. And it really was about building community and building friends that you could count on, because they understood that when you build community and you bring people together, that good things happen. Good relationships are built, good times are built, and you build this network of friends and family that you didn't even know were there, but they grow and they grow. And over the years, you build family and friends together and you're able to accomplish things. Sadly, a couple of years ago, we lost Karen to a battle with cancer. But the kickoff today is being sponsored in honor of her memory and her dedication to bringing others together so that all could thrive. So here, let's please honor Karen and Rod. And thank you so much for sponsoring our kickoff today. Like Karen and Rod, United Way is dedicated to building stronger, more resilient communities. We accomplish this by connecting those in our region with resources to reduce poverty and to improve lives. United Way focuses on 4 key impact areas: health, education, financial stability, and basic needs. We make a difference across 6 counties we serve through funded partners, internal initiatives, convening coalitions that's bringing those people together, and measuring results. We mobilize resources by uniting our corporate sponsors, our donors, volunteers, advocates, community organizations, and grant makers, putting them all together so that we can work on one of those 4 focus areas. United Way's work is focused on reducing poverty and improving lives. Approximately 28.8%, that's nearly 30% of our population, struggles with poverty. A growing segment of our population falls above the federal poverty line, but is still really struggling to survive. We call those folks ALICE, and in the United Way world, that means asset limited, income constrained, but employed. You know these people. There's a lot of people in our area who are ALICE. They might be your child care provider, they might be your bus driver, they might be your pharmacy technician, they might be your child care provider. There are all those folks in our community who are working 2 or 3 jobs, trying to make it, but they still don't have enough to survive, to pay their utility bills, to pay for child care, to invest in a new home. There are people who are really struggling. And so a lot of United Way's work is focused on not only bringing people out of poverty, but making sure Alice stays out of poverty and Alice can become a thriving part of the middle class. That's what we're working toward achieving. In our United Way service area, somewhere between 44 and 54% of the population is Alice. When combined with the poverty rate, that means approximately 70 to 80% of our loved ones, friends, and neighbors still don't have the tools or opportunities they need to thrive. That's the mission that we have. You know, that's our vision, to give them the tools and opportunities. But we have a huge, huge work ahead of us. While the challenges can seem daunting at times, the opportunities before us to make a real difference are even more immense, believe it or not. Today, you will hear firsthand stories about how funds donated to the United Way through the Workplace Campaign are being used to make a real impact through the work of our funded and strategic partners. We have both, funded and strategic partners. But our work to lift our community up does not end there. Today, we are officially announcing a new initiative we are calling the United Way Community Opportunity Plan. With this plan, United Way hopes to amplify both partner and internal efforts to address barriers to success faced by those in poverty and by Alice. Barriers often include unemployment, housing, food insecurity, childcare, transportation, and the like. United Way is currently gathering research. We're working with Marshall University, as a matter of fact, our students here. And Dr. Goodman is here. She's the researcher that's working with us, Dr. Allison Goodman. Thank you very much. Let's give Dr. Goodman a round of applause. Over the summer, we started gathering research and gathering all these studies that have been done across the area and saying, okay, this has been done. We've got this ALICE data. Let's align all this other survey data and find out what our greatest needs are. And then her students are going to create a research instrument that we're going to put out throughout the community, a survey sort of thing. And then we're going to gather all of our leaders together from across 6 counties, from all sectors. We're going to bring our CEOs, bring our nonprofit leaders, bring our religious leaders, bring our superintendents, bring all those folks together to find opportunities for collaboration and to develop a plan of action for addressing each barrier and finding out, you know, at United Way, can we help? Can we help through our funded partners, through our strategic relationships? Can we apply for greater grant dollars? Can we do other things as United Way to lift up our community? So that's what we're working on right now. Once these plans are complete, United Way will pursue corporate, foundation, and government funding on behalf of the region to begin enacting the action plans. United Way Community Opportunity Plan is only possible thanks to the support of our sponsors, and they are Marathon. We love Marathon, Marshall Health Network, Moses Automotive Group, and Marshall University. Thank you very much to our funded partners, to our sponsors of the Community Opportunity Plan. This is a new day, and we're really, really excited about it. Now it's time to hear from some of the terrific people doing incredible work in our communities, thanks to your support at United Way. We'd like to introduce our featured presenters from Backpack Buddies, Jody Hunt. And Jody, would you please come forward and give us a few words about what happens with your United Way funding at Backpack Buddies? Thank you. It's easy to say, right? Make sure you're on. There you go.
Thank you, first of all, for the opportunity to be able to be here and to be able to speak to you guys. It's an honor for us to be able to tell everyone a little bit about Backpack Buddies and what we do in Lawrence County, Ohio. I am extremely nervous. This is something that we don't normally do. I was telling Steve earlier, I like more of the labor, the part where you're behind the scenes and you do all the work and you don't ever have to do things like these. So I'm extremely nervous this morning. So if you'll bear with me for just a moment, I'd like to tell you a little bit about Backpack Buddies. We are a nonprofit organization that's located in Lawrence County, Ohio, and we currently provide food for children who have limited to no access to food over the weekends. Initially, that's what started out as our main goal, that we just wanted to help kids get extra food that they didn't have when they were outside of school. We had one school in mind, and that was Rock Hill Elementary, which at the time was where my children were attending. And and when we would go to school events and we would do things, I would see children that were really struggling that we didn't have to struggle for. You could see children that just needed an extra person to let them know that they loved them, that they cared about them, that they were there for them. And you could see that through a need for hunger. as my kids continued to get a little bit older and go through elementary school, the thought, what can we do to help, never left my mind. It was continually there. It was continually something that I feel like the Lord placed on my heart, and it was something that I had to take action, and I had to contact the school and say, is there anything that I could do to help? So in doing that, I'd had a plan in my mind of what I wanted to do. And I called and I talked to the school, and she said, well, there's a lady here. She said she's thought of the exact same thing, but she doesn't know where to start. Her name was Dee Travis, and she was a tremendous blessing to the start of Backpack Buddies. When we started, she said, I would love for you to come help us. So when we did, we started with her and 25 kids in that elementary school, and it continued to grow just a little bit each and every month as people heard what we were doing and found out that we were helping. And it became a little bit overwhelming at first, because in my mind, I just thought, if I can just help my kids' school, then that'll be good. We can give back. Well, the Lord had other plans. So over the years, here we are in 2024, and we're now in 19 schools in Lawrence County. And it looks like this year will be well over 600 kids that we serve every single week. And it's been a tremendous blessing to be able to work in our schools and to be able to help so many children. And we didn't stop there. When we got involved with a lot of the schools, and you hear of all the other issues that so many kids are struggling with just besides hunger. Every year now, we offer anyone in the county, anyone outside of the county for that matter, to come in, and we have a back to school clothing giveaway where we get all new items. We purchase all new items: shoes, clothing, book bags, school supplies, socks, underwear, hygiene items, anything that a kid would need to feel like they want to go back to school and looking their best. We provide that for them. We had that event this year, and Dawson Bryant Middle School, High School hosted that event for us. We had over 500 kids come through in about 3 hours. We set it up just like a great big store. Everything's on tables and shelves and racks, and they can come in and shop. That's my Christmas. That's my favorite day of the year. I love that day, because when you see the pure excitement that comes from a child that gets to come in and pick out their own clothes and their own shoes, and they get to leave there feeling confident that they're not going to look any different than any other kid that they go to school with on that first day of school. They're going to have something that's name brand. They're going to have a new book bag. They're going to have the confidence to go into that first day of school ready to learn. And that's the thing I think we forget about sometimes with kids, and the stigma that you put behind, other kids put behind each other. And that's just kids, I know. But when you have something that's new, that is Nike or Champion, which we were able to purchase all kinds of those brands this year, which I was super excited about. They feel like any other kid, even though they go home to a very different atmosphere and a very different home than my kids do. But when they walk in school, they don't look any different. And I feel like that is a huge part of getting them to have the confidence to get an education, to know that they're not any different than anyone else, even though, society or the people around them may say you come from a different background, or your parents are on drugs and they're in a rehab and they're living with a friend. I just want them to know that Backpack Buddies is there for them. We care about them. We want them to succeed in life. And because of United Way of the River Cities and so many other amazing people that I know here today that have helped us to start that small process of food. United Way of the River Cities was the first grant we'd ever gotten when we started out with Backpack Buddies. They took a chance on us when nobody else would. We really struggled when we did fundraisers. We worked hard to get the money to provide the food that we just for a few kids. They were the first ones that came through and said, we want to help you. And look what we've been able to accomplish, where we're at today, because of United Way of the River Cities. And I know whenever I talked to Steve, he said, give a success story. And in my mind, I thought of a success story of a family that we've been able to help. But for Backpack Buddies, we are a success because of what United Way of the River Cities has been able to do for us and the funding that they've given us to be able to help so many families and continue to grow throughout our community. And for that, we are super grateful for you guys and for the honor to be able to be here. To talk to you guys. And that's just a small part of what Backpack Buddies is. We've continued to grow with meal boxes for Thanksgiving, for Christmas. We have hygiene closet. We have a clothing closet that operates year round. We've set up some things with our schools. A lot of our children are struggling with water. They don't have water at home. So we take shampoo, conditioner, bath towels, soap. We take those to the school nurses and they allow them to shower at school. We give detergent for them to be able to wash their clothes. There's a greater picture, I feel like, that we continue to grow and we continue to be able to provide for children and families in our community. And I think we're just on the verge of what Backpack Buddies is able to do. And I'm excited for our future and to be able to continue to work with United Way of the River Cities to be able to help more families and more children. And when we originally started, our logo for Backpack Buddies was changing the lives of children one weekend at a time. And I still feel like that we're doing that with great success because of the help and the funding that we've received through United Way. And we're super thankful for you guys.
Jody, that's wonderful. Wonderful. Now, she was nervous about speaking today. I'm sorry. Oh my gosh, Jody. I tell you, I was so impressed. We do site visits as part of our accountability process every year, and we go to visit Backpack Buddies. She is a one-woman powerhouse, let me tell you. And she's in there. She's a volunteer. She has a whole team of volunteers that are in there working at Backpack Buddies, and they maximize every dollar we give them. I mean, they squeeze everything they can out of every dollar, and I'm so proud to have that relationship. Thank you, Jody, for your words today. Our next guest today is from Facing Hunger Food Bank, one of our big partners. Tennyson Thornberry is going to be here, and he is going to speak a little bit about what we do with Facing Hunger Food Bank. Thank you, Tennyson, for coming today. He's the Chief Operating Officer there.
Yes, sir. Thank you,
sir.
Good afternoon. It's an honor to be here with you. Facing Hunger Food Bank has been a proud partner with the United Way of the River City since 2015. And we focused our requests in Lincoln County. That's where we focus. Specifically, backpack programming for all of the schools located in Lincoln, which until the intended closure of Ranger Elementary was 8 total schools. Since that time, we have served a starting number of 400 students with backpacks for the 36-week school period that contains 6 meals. So they get 2 breakfasts, 2 lunch, 2 dinners, snacks, fruits and vegetables, fruit juice, and a shelf-stable milks. During the holiday weeks, we provide additional food resources as the children are not receiving their usual school meals, and this places a lot of pressure on the households. The total amount of resources from the beginning was 14,400 backpacks provided, which is 86,400 meals provided. And in our most recent year, we served 850 students in Lincoln County and families, totaling 1,500 souls served, with 30,600 total backpacks distributed and 183,600 meals total. Our support from safety net funding provided by the United Way of the River Cities allows us to have resources to provide consistent food resources and the capability to provide shelf-stable milk and a full menu of food, as without that starting and maintained funding, we would have to rely on donated product, and those resources would mean that children may or may not receive the planned menu nor a consistency of food product. Before receiving this funding and establishing the partnership, one child may receive a full backpack with really flavored food, and the next child may not. With this partnership, we're able to ensure that every child feels valued the same and is provided the foundation of a nutritious, balanced menu of meals. And at Facing Hunger Food Bank, we appreciate the support and the partnership of the United Way of River Cities. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Tennyson. And those of you that are familiar with Facing Hunger Food Bank, they do such outstanding work across our region. We go to so many of our funded partners and I'll ask them, where do you get your food? And they say Facing Hunger Food Bank, and so, and they are able to purchase food at pennies on the dollar compared to what you would buy in the grocery store. So it is just such an important staple of our community. Our next guest today is Dr. Ashley Stevens from Cabell County Schools, where I'm an alumni. Cabell County Schools does some outstanding work. And Ashley, I'd like you to talk about our strategic partnerships today. These were funded partners, the first two you heard from. We work with the school district on a lot of different things. We'd like you to talk a little bit about that. Thank you, Dr. Stevens, for being here today.
Thank you. You've heard about the fantastic things that are happening outside of the school day, and I'm going to share a little bit about the impact that the United Way of the River Cities has inside the school day. And so here in Cabell County, we serve 11,500 students. We have 2,000 staff. And you guys are an integral part of so many of the activities that we do. We're very fortunate that this is a reciprocal relationship in that sometimes the United Way reaches out and says, we have this idea, or we have this funding, or we have this project, and we have the good fortune of being able to find the right fit for that within our school system. Other times, they are the first call that we have when there is a need, whether it is a specific student need, if it is something for a special project, or if it's a learning need. And the United Way is always very quick to jump in and say, well, we have these resources, or our partners have this funding. And so they are a fantastic resource to kind of amplify the work that we're doing. And we are so grateful for that. A few of the programs that they offer for us include Read Across the River Cities, where they offer volunteers to come read to all of our third graders. There are hundreds of them. And that one is a really exciting day. Our third graders have, read alouds with new people that might be volunteers. Oftentimes, this is their first engagement with us, but it's definitely not the last. They're excited to make friends at the school. And then their first question is, when can I come back? And so that is a wonderful experience for our kids to get to build those lasting relationships. It also creates that amplification process where if they're coming to read to our third graders, perhaps the school fills the rest of the grades by making sure that somebody else is coming to read to the other ones. Also, the Highlander Career Launch, we're going into our third year of this, that offers paid internships for our high schoolers to get on the job, hands-on training in their areas of interest. And so that has been fantastic. And we're excited about the expansion and continuation of that. Super Saturday, you guys are all familiar with Super Saturday. It's got to be the most fun Saturday that happens in Cabell County, I feel sure. But it gives us an opportunity to bring in all of our kids who are getting ready for school. So it's a lot of kindergarten and pre-K readiness. And we are so grateful for that sponsorship and that partnership. We serve not only Cabell County, but also Wayne County. And based on the numbers that show up, I have a sneaking suspicion that there are an awful lot of other people who are getting served through that as well. There's lots of opportunities for them to meet resources and vendors who help their children get ready for when they enter our classrooms. Also, the big cover-up. This might be one of my favorites because it gives our kids, our high school kids, an opportunity to make their own difference in their own way with funding through the United Way. And so we're very grateful for that. It allows our high schools to put on a service-based project, but with funding. So oftentimes they use that to do, warm activity outfits for cold weather for our elementary students. So it might be jackets or hoodies or gloves, hats, those types of things. And it creates this wonderful leadership opportunity for our high schoolers so that it's not just something that they are receiving as a pass-through, but it's something that they're making their own. They're amplifying, they're getting that taste that I think we all have for making a difference. And so it is a fantastic opportunity with them. They're also so quick to jump in, whether we have professional development for our staff, and we need some people to kind of pour into our hardworking crew. The United Way is there. If we have a safety fair or a community resource fair, not only do they show up, but they bring all of their friends. And so we are so grateful for this partnership and all of the different places that the United Way has its hand in the programming that we do and their footprint within our schools. So we thank you guys.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Stevens. And don't go anywhere, Dr. Stevens. We're going to have a quick panel discussion, and if my guest speakers today can join me up here on the stage in the lovely chairs that they've placed for us here. I've got a few questions for us to discuss. Okay, and I'll come over here and join them. How about that? Hi, guys.
Hello.
This is my Oprah moment. I'm excited about it. I wanted to ask you a series of questions, and I hope it kind of does a little bit of discussion. So please pop in wherever you want to. But my first question is, why did you choose a career in service to the community? Let's start with you, Jody.
I don't think I actually chose this career. I definitely feel like it was something that the Lord placed upon my heart, that it was a job that was given to me through him. And I know that that's what I've been called to do. And I'm going to do it to the best of my ability. And I just think that there's a special, and I think they'll all agree, there's just a special joy that comes from being able to give back to the community. There's a special blessing that you get that's like no other. It's very hard to explain. Just by helping others, it just brings you great joy. So I don't know if I actually chose this career.
It chose you.
It did. It definitely did.
Tennyson?
So you said you're an alumni of Cabell. I'm not. I married into West Virginia.
Well, I actually graduated from Chesapeake High
Did you?
School.
Okay.
But I worked for Cabell County Schools for
Yeah.
23 years. So
I grew up in Eastern Kentucky, very poor, and I remember being in food lines to be able to get food handouts, including holiday baskets, those kind of things, clothing giveaway, and to know that I can go somewhere and give back to people that gave to me and my family when I was growing up made a difference for me. And you talked about on stage, people being treated the same. They were getting the type of clothing. I fit into that. Like I would get things that would try to help me fit in with others based on my clothing, shoes, and that kind of thing. So to be able to work at Facing Hunger Food Bank and to go in, it's not a job. It's life.
yeah.
And like Jody said, it's all on my faith. God could have sent me somewhere else, but I feel like he sent me to Facing Hunger Food Bank. So, yeah.
Thank goodness he did.
Yes. Yeah.
And Dr. Stevens.
Well, I'm an educator, and I was bred an educator. I was born an educator. I tried everything that I could to become anything but an educator. I was going to do anything but teach, and I was going to go anywhere but Marshall. And the Lord chased me all the way to Montana. I was working at a camp there with middle school girls who were probably the reason I didn't want to be an educator. And it was the best summer of my life. And I figured, well, if I can do this here, 24/7 for a whole week with them, surely 45-minute class can't be as bad as I had envisioned. And it has been the greatest blessing, not only of my career, but it is missional, probably in a very different way than for you guys. But this is what I was made for.
And I think you do a fantastic job.
Thank you, sir.
What's the most rewarding part of your work? Like every day you go to work, Jody, to work with your backpack buddies, what's the most rewarding thing?
I think one of the most rewarding things is when you go into a school and the kids recognize who we are. They know who we are and they know what we're doing for them. And they're just like, hey, there's backpack buddies, or hey, you got my food bag for me today. They just get excited to be able to see us and to know what we're doing for them. That is definitely a rewarding, just to be able to see them when we go into school and for them to recognize you and know who you are and what you're doing for them. And then of course there will be those that just run up and hug you and they won't say anything. They'll just hug you and then just walk away. So those are definitely times that you always remember for sure.
Tennyson?
We feed people in the 17 county tri-state area here. And that is very rewarding to be able to go out on a mobile distribution and see people getting food, and they're so thankful for that. But we also employ about 26% of our employees are our second chance workforce. You may call it a second chance or a fair chance, but folks that may have a convicted with a felony, recovering drug addict, alcoholism, we have about 26% of our staff is that. To give back to that and try to help people out, it's great.
Dr. Stevens.
I'm not in a classroom anymore. So it used to be, 3 or 4 years ago, I would have told you it's the aha moment. That's why we show up. But now it is the opportunity to celebrate when our staff is creating those aha moments, or even our students. I don't know if you guys are familiar with any of the passion projects that come out of our graduating seniors where they're making big community impact. But just getting a chance to celebrate the fantastic work, since I'm not getting to do it in the way that I normally did as a classroom teacher, that is the greatest joy.
Wonderful. We've heard about the incredible work you're doing to address the needs of those you serve. In your opinion, how great are the needs not yet met? I talked about Alice and about the growing poverty population, but also that growing ALICE population. What do you believe are the greatest needs that aren't met yet?
For us, we've noticed this past school year that there are a lot of homeless children that we didn't know existed in our community until, we get a call and they would say, hey, we have a child who's homeless. They're in our school system. What can you do to help them? We try to provide for them mattresses, bedding, book bags, stuff that they can take from friend's house to grandma's to the mission in town. For us, that was a real eye opener that we didn't really know that there was such a need. And it grew over the school year, and it's continuing to grow for us. So I think that's something that we're going to try to focus on more through Backpack Buddies, is the homeless children in our area and what we can do to help them.
Yeah. Tennyson?
So 1 in 6 adults in our 17 county service area is food insecure. 1 in 4 children is food insecure. That's very alarming to know that, 25% of the kids that are in school right now don't have food, or don't have food at all for the weekend or through the week. But I think for me, the awareness of who Facing Hunger Food Bank is in our pantries. I was on the board prior to joining Facing Hunger Food Bank, but before that, I didn't know who Facing Hunger Food Bank was. This is the 41st year of Facing Hunger Food Bank. And I think people understanding who the food bank is and supporting our local pantries and getting their word out there that they can get food at those local pantries in their area, 17 counties, or mobile distribution that we have. I think the awareness to let people know that there's people there that can help.
Yes. Dr. Stevens.
We obviously are focused on what happens once kids get into the classroom, and we are obsessed with the learning process. But we recognize that students cannot learn if they're hungry, or if they're nervous, or if they're unsure of what heading home looks like. And so I think that our industry is morphing in such a way that we're meeting more of those needs, and we're grateful to be able to do that. But we're not structured necessarily for that. And so that's where having these intentional partnerships with the United Way and with others allow us to amplify the wraparound supports that we do so that we can get about the very important business of learning. But we recognize that a lot of times there are several steps that a student may need before they're ready for that.
Little scaffolding going on.
Absolutely. And we are so grateful for it.
If United Way had additional funding or programming available to offer you, how could the agency potentially enhance your efforts? So it's kind of the question I've been asking as I've been going around to the funded partners. Right. If money was no object and you could do something big with, what would your next step be? What would you do?
Well, of course, we'd want to continue to grow our program. We'd want to continue to help more families, more children with things that we don't have funding to do that with, and of course, homeless children would be one of the first things that we would try to address. And like you said, a lot of the teachers that we talk to, just getting the kids to school, getting them fed, getting them showered, getting hygiene, getting clean clothes on. By the time they do all of that, they're halfway into a school day. So just to be able to help them outside of the school to have those things that they would need to when they get to school, that they're ready to learn, that they're already there. They're not worried about showering, washing their clothes, the little things that should be done at home. We would love to be able to help them to be prepared when they get to school, that they wouldn't have to worry about those things.
Tennyson, same question.
So providing more meals, not just through the weekend, but more through the week. Even they don't have food through the week, they get food at school. But what are they eating in the evening time? That could be some things that we could help. What we're also doing at Facing Hunger Food Bank, we bought the warehouse next door, which was a Southern States building. Yeah, thanks. So in that, we're expanding in to have double our warehouse size to be able to hold more product there. We also have a plan for a teaching kitchen to be able to teach people how to prepare certain foods. Mm-hmm. And we'll also have an on-site food pantry. So all that would help us substantially.
Okay. Yeah. And Dr. Stevens.
We have a lot of kids. So if we have a program that is serving at one school and it could serve at 4, or if we're serving 1 grade through a read aloud and we could serve 6, not to get greedy, but we like to be really. And so just amplifying the existing things that are happening to more of our students, I think would be a wonderful first out.
I think that's an excellent answer. And, thank you all for all that you do. And of course, I'm really doing this kind of panel discussion and these sort of, speeches that you guys have given. I wanted you to share a little bit about what you're able to do now, but the potential is so huge for what your impact could be if we had more funds available, if through the workplace campaign, we had more funds available, if through a community opportunity plan, we're able to identify grant funds that we can offer to your agencies to help you do even more. And so that is United Way's role in our community. And I think Tennyson, it's kind of similar. United Way has a similar challenge for people to understand exactly what it is we do and what the impact is because of what we do. What is that impact? And you can see just through a few stories here, the kind of impact that is being made now with the givers that give now so generously. But if we could do more, what more we could do. Yep. And so, and that's the point of community, bringing community together. Please give a big round of applause for my panelists today. Thank you all very much. You may be seated if you'd like to, or you can stay there if you'd like. All right. Now, to kind of put a little icing on that cake, as they say, we've going to introduce some of our very special guests that are here today. Much like these folks, they're our funded partners from across our 6-county area. And I've just asked them to very, very briefly I'll introduce them actually, but to come up and tell us just a little bit, just a short little bit about what they do and what they're doing with United Way funding and an impact that's being made because of that. And so some of these folks have been very nice to come up. Lily's Place, Jennifer Chapman, will you please come forward? Thank you for coming today. Thank you, Jackie.
So the United Way has supported Lily's Place for a number of years, and we've seen a beautiful impact for what that support means for our community. This year specifically, they funded our follow-up clinic, and what that is where infants who are diagnosed with neonatal abstinence syndrome, they'll come back and get checked by a physician and a birth-to-3 specialist. Really, there's no age limit up until like as old as they want to keep coming back. That helps us kind of gather more data on what the long-term effects are from NAS, and it also helps us make sure that these babies and kids are meeting their developmental milestones. So one of the children that came, they were assessed, and it was determined that they needed leg braces, and so that was something that they hadn't noticed before. And they were referred to an orthopedic specialist, and they were fitted for shoe orthotics to correct a gait issue that they didn't know they had. And then we had an 18-month-old child that was born with NAS, and they were assessed, and the physical therapist discovered that they had a lip and tongue tie, and they were able to get them to a plastic surgeon and get that corrected. And then some of the issues that people have are really basic, like just getting to the follow-up clinic. And that is like they might need a car seat or just a stroller if they live in town to be able to get there. And so that's already helped some of our clients to be able to get there. So that's been a huge help. And then they've also United Way has also funded our Children's Center before, and that's been such a huge impact too. And I wanted to just share a couple real quick stories from them. We had Sam, who is an 8-year-old, and he suffered from extreme anxiety with school, and that led to extreme anxiety at night and trying to sleep. And he didn't feel comfortable being awake at night. That gave him more anxiety being alone. So his parents would have to stay up with him and just kind of take turns. So you can imagine like the stress and anxiety that brought on the whole household. And after some counseling, our counselor helped Sam learn some positive ways to change his thinking and give him some coping strategies. And ultimately, he was able to reach his goal, and that was to alleviate the anxiety. And his family was kind of able to return back to normal. And his mom even told us that this has given her and her husband their marriage back. So that was just a real a good feeling to know that he's improved and doing better. And then one more is Beth, who is a 14-year-old, and she had a lot of anxiety as well, along with bullying at school. She was very athletic. Due to anxiety, she quit sports, and she began using non-suicidal self-injury as a coping skill. And through counseling, Beth was able to commit to working really diligently on new strategies for coping with her anxiety, and that worked. She committed to the work of getting back to the level of life satisfaction that she was hoping for, and she was able to achieve that. And not only just that, but she was able to get back to participating in the sports that she loves. So we were really happy to see her back and doing well in life. So Lily's Place is just really grateful for the role that United Way and their partners have played in all of this. So thank you.
Excellent job. Excellent. Thank you so much. They do such wonderful things there. From SPECO, which is St. Peter's Episcopal Community Outreach, we've got Jennifer Chapman. Thank you, Jennifer, for coming today. Oh.
I'm with SPECO, but I'm not Jennifer.
Oh, it's Aaron Dalton.
Yeah.
Sorry, Aaron. And Sequoia is here with you too.
Yeah, I have
Sequoia is there. Hey,
You're good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hi. I am Aaron Dalton. I'm with SPECO. I made some notes today. I'm a little nervous too. I don't usually get nervous, but we do community outreach and harm reduction programs, specifically in the west end of Huntington. And I wanted to tell a quick story today about Jane. Jane down the alley from us was recently housed and found us via the 211 app as a food and menstrual supply resource. As we were able to provide her with the supplies she needed, we were able to start a relationship with Jane. After a couple months, Jane approached me saying that she didn't have income, but she wanted to know how she could support us in the work that we did. She said that she had been picking up trash in the neighborhood, and I said that that was wonderful. And then when we partnered with United Way on a period poverty project, Jane was able to join the community in packing period supplies for other people in need. She recently shared with me her long-term goals of reuniting with her son in Florida. Our partnership with and the funding that we receive through safety net grants with United Way not only lets us provide much needed resources to the people in the West End, but also helps us aid in integrating people back into their communities and having hope for a better life. And for me personally, and for the rest of the group at SPECO, beyond just serving resources, we really want to meet people where they are and let people know that they are loved no matter what decisions or what fate has brought them in their lives. And we feel like our calling is really helping people integrate back into community so they feel there is hope for something better. And we're so thankful that United Way sees what we're doing and helps fund those programs with us.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Aaron, for coming today. Okay. We just want to recognize, we don't have a speaker, but we want to recognize Harmony House. We've got Jackie Woods is here in person. Wave at everybody. Thank you, Jackie. Diana Porter from Harvest for the Hungry is here with us today. Harvest for the Hungry, there you are. Are you going to share a story with us, Diana? Yeah, well, come on down.
You really shouldn't start driving a standard shift car at my age.
There you go.
Hi, I'm Diane Porter, and I am with Harvest for the Hungry. I started there in March of 2013. We have been in business since 1992, but we were a very well-kept secret. We moved across the street in a 4,800 square foot building and made it known to Lawrence County that we served the whole county. So our family count went from 150 to 700 in a month. So that was in 13. We did a whole lot of moving stuff around. We actually were in violation of our TFAP contract, but we're not going to talk about that. But we did everything we could to stay in business. I went from being paid to being a volunteer, which is fine. We applied for our first grant, I think, in 2013, and we were turned down. So if there's any people here that donate that think they just hand out the money willy-nilly, no. So, but the next year I came back and we've been funded for 10 years and it's been really, really good. And Steve has gone above and beyond just things for the United Way for us. We also participate in an EFSP program and it fell apart and Steve got that going again, which is bravo. So what we do is we provide a 3-day pre-pack for anyone in Lawrence County that is defined at the federal poverty level. We typically serve 550 to 600 families a month. When we first started applying with United Way, we were actually asking for food under the safety net. Our food budget got a little better. So then we started expanding to where what are we doing that we could do better? And if SNAP does not pay for any kind of hygiene items. So we expanded into providing hygiene items, and we typically hand out deodorant, both male and female, razors, toilet paper, soap, shaving cream, and it doesn't go the same every month except for toilet paper and detergent. But what happened, we got approved, and then Dollar Tree went from $1 to $1.25 tree. And our buying power reduced 25%. Boom, just like that. But they also, we make do with what we can. They've been very generous for that. And we also provide nutrition drinks to seniors. That's a population very near and dear to my heart. And to have worked so hard and then to be not able to provide for your own basic needs, to me, is such a slap in the face. I was more fortunate, but it bothers me for my fellow seniors that haven't been. So that is something that United Way does with us, and we expected a 25% refusal rate. No, about 1% maybe. And again, prices keep going up for that, but they have provided that for us for the last 2 years, and I've got a grant request in for this coming year as well. Yeah. I am greedy. But going forward, what would we like to do? We would like to do a 5-day pre-pack, or we'd like to have a choice system where the people come in and pick out what they want. What we do is we take their order size, which is based on the family, and then we fill that. And we would love to be able to have the people come back and choose, like Jody said. So much different to choose your food as opposed to somebody say, here's what you get. I hope you like it. And to that note, year to date so far, we have served 12,629 people. Yeah. 23% of those are seniors. 20% of those seniors have minor children in the home. 23% of those are children. And we have provided 113,649 meals.
Excellent.
So thank you, United Way.
Thank you so much. Thank you for coming by today. Thank you. Okay, from Boys and Girls Club, is Simon here? Hey, Simon Woods from Boys and Girls Club. You're the newly minted executive director, aren't you? Congratulations.
Simon, I'm from Boys and Girls Club of Huntington. We serve about a little over 700 kids a year. The program that we partner with the United Way with is our Power Hour program, which is our academic program. In that program, we serve a little over 400 children a year. One of whom is a girl named Autumn. Autumn started coming in spring last semester. She started coming. She was in fifth grade then. She started coming because her parents didn't get off work till 5:30. They needed some place for her to go after school was over. So that is what we are, an after school program. So she started coming. She was a very well-behaved, very likable little girl. But there was a day that she had a meltdown, and she was not a girl that was prone to meltdowns. And so we investigated it, and it turned out it was because the activity in Power Hour that day was reading stories to each other. And we found that she struggled reading, and she was really embarrassed about it. And when it came time for her to pick a story and read it to, the other people in the classroom that day, she really couldn't do it and had a meltdown. So we talked to her about it. It seemed like she really desired to become a better reader. She just didn't know how. So we contacted her teacher, and they were able to provide us with some supplements, with some extra activities. We had to go back before we could go forward, and which we did. She's been improving over the, she came over this summer, and we have a summer brain drain program to prevent learning loss. She participated in that. And now that she's in 6th grade, she sought me out within a week or two of school being in, and let me know that she read in class, had no trouble. The teacher had no suspicions that she ever had trouble reading, and that she even volunteered to read again in class. So she's just one of the kids that we serve, and we could not do it without the United Way. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Simon. All right. Okay. And we're going to try to pace these as quick as we can. Big Brothers Big Sisters, Stephanie Collier, are you down here? Hey, the Executive Director, Big Brothers Big Sisters of the Tri-State. I heard you had a nice gala the other night.
50th anniversary at Big Brothers Big Sisters. We are thrilled to partner with the United Way, as we have for many years, under the Impact Grant. We are a mentoring service. If you've not heard of us, we provide mentoring services to kiddos in our community, and it's our mission that every kid has a caring and consistent adult in their lives. And that's how I would describe our United Way funding. They've been consistent, but also very consistent partners, which is really important to us, that it's not just a dollar or a check handed over, that they participate in our events and our services. We participate in their events and their services, and really help form a better team together. And that's really the mission at Big Brothers Big Sisters. We often focus on the kiddos and the services that we provide them. So I'm going to take just a moment to talk about what we provide to the parents as well. Sometimes parents get a really bad rap in our community because their kiddos are struggling and the issues that they're facing. It's really important to us that the parents see us as a part of their village, and that they're just extending their village. They're getting extra helpers, extra support to be a part of their team. And so I'm actually going to tell a story about a young lady in the Huntington community, actually, who's a story that didn't go the way we'd want it to go. Our outcomes focus on keeping kids in school, keeping them out of any kind of substance use, that we reduce bullying behaviors, that we increase self-confidence, et cetera. And we have a young lady who's really been struggling to the point that she has ended up in a lot of juvenile issues. She is currently in a facility and did a lot of time on home confinement. And while that's not good, and that's not the outcome we want to see, what makes stories like what we're able to do at Big Brothers Big Sisters impactful is that we were there through all of that. Her big sister was there during her court appearances. We were able to work with the probation officers to say that while you are on home confinement and can literally go nowhere, you can come to our offices and meet with your big sister and engage in different tasks that can build confidence and security throughout the relationship, and work with the detention center so that when she is back home in 6 to 8 months, that we know that we're going to be able to help create a community around her to readjust back to life and hopefully better outcomes and behavior going forward. So I just think it's a really great story to say that when things don't always go according to plan, which does happen, that when you're able to create these nets around these kiddos in our community, they have the community they need to get out of the situations that they're in and they're not dropped. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Stephanie. Okay, we've got from Cridlin, Lynn Cummings. Are you here, Lynn? Oh, there she is right there. Very good. Couple more.
I just want to say I am so happy to be part of a community that just cares so much about what's going on. And anyway, I just feel blessed. I am Lynn Cummings. I'm the director of Cridlin Food and Clothing Pantry. We're just located a few blocks from here. And real quickly, for those of you who are not familiar with Cridlin, we've been around for over 50 years. In 1970, our primary mission was to address the problem of hunger in the greater Huntington area. But today, our mission is to provide those most in need in our community with a 5-day emergency supply of food, 4 outfits of clothing, including, I'm sorry, I have a cold, including new socks and underwear, cleaning supplies, baby essentials, and hygiene products. And we're always looking for other ways we can expand our mission. This year, we started a new mission where we're supplying brand new beds, mattresses, bedding for children in need who don't have bedding. We provide a safety net for people who are unable to stretch their resources to meet their basic needs. The Alice population is really who comes to visit us. Food and clothing are very essential, but there are so many other things folks can't afford. Um, Hygiene poverty. What is hygiene poverty? Not being able to afford the many everyday hygiene and personal grooming products most of us take for granted. That brings me to United Way of River Cities and their impact on what we do. Because of the funding we receive, we offer our clients toilet paper, laundry detergent, dish detergent, shampoo, deodorant, toothpaste, toothbrushes, bar soap, diapers, wipes, baby ointment, adult diapers, bleach, disinfectant, cleaning, sponges, and feminine hygiene products. I had a mother tell me her daughter wouldn't go to school because she didn't have the feminine hygiene product she needed. I had another individual tell me he was using bar soap to wash his clothes because it was all he had. And a mother came in so excited we were giving her laundry detergent because she was having to use dish detergent to wash her children's clothes. We can do better for these folks. And thanks to United Way, River Cities, we are able to do better for these folks. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. They do fantastic work. And I don't know if you're aware, but that's a consortium of what, 10 churches? 10 churches that started Cridland together. Yeah. 12 churches, 12 churches. It's a pretty neat project there in the community. Field of Hope, Amber Richards, and this is one of our Gallia County funded partners. Are you online? There she is.
So I'm the executive director.
Good, good. Come on in. Thank you very much.
We're from Field of Hope Community Campus, and we are a faith-based nonprofit, and we do a lot of different things at the community campus, but we do behavioral health for adolescents, men and women. We do prevention work, and we have a food pantry and working on some businesses for training. But we partnered with United Way for our prevention team. Right now, we had one person, which was Stephanie. We was able to hire another as the need is growing for children. You guys see in the schools and the need to be there and for them to have a safe place to go and food and fun activities to do. So I'm going to let Stephanie speak on that part because she got to work with the kids for the past couple of years, working on all that and how we partner with United.
Just so everyone knows, I'm being forced to do this again. Just so we're clear on that. So I served last year thousands of kids in the Gallia County local schools, grades 3 through 12. With United Way funding, we were able to hire another prevention specialist to aid and help me with my job, which was a relief. Over the summer, we were able to bring 12 kids to our facility, run a summer program. Our food bank gave them food boxes to take home so they could eat all week long, along with every child in their household. What else? We were able to work with these kids on core values like decision making. One thing that sticks out the most to me is a little girl who told me before our meal that she had never prayed before. So we do that before every meal. The very last day of the Resiliency Center, the little girl asked to lead our prayer. So that right there was just huge to me. That shows me that these kids are growing and gaining those core values that they need. It truly is amazing. And I am blessed by God to be able to do this stuff. Not this part of it, but with the kids. So back to school, we were able to do a blast for all the kids in our community. We served over 600 children. We did backpacks from other community partners, shoes, all kinds of school supplies. In the 12 kids who were in our resiliency center, we were able to send them with $300 gift cards to Kohl's so they could have closed for the school year. The one little girl, she lives with her grandmother. She got to go and try on and do like a fashion show in the dressing room. So that was super great. I'm blessed to be able to get to do what I do, and thank you guys so much for what you do.
Okay. I know we're getting close to over our time, but we want to recognize, we just have two more that we want to recognize. Want both of you come forward really quickly. Hamlin Lincoln Library, Samantha Sullivan, and Goodwill Industries, Sally Nelson. Please come forward. Thank you. No, you just one at a time. I'm just trying to hurry it up.
Hurrying it along. Okay. I'm Samantha. I'm from Lincoln County Libraries. We're a rural county that has a high rate of low income families that might not otherwise be exposed to all the same opportunities and experiences that others in the community might get. So we strive to be an equalizer and a bridge for them. We work on creating community connections and experiences for the county. We operate 3 libraries. Our main library is in Hamlin, and then we have 2 branch libraries, one in Alum Creek and one that's in the Guyan River area. We offer a variety of services that you might be familiar with through the library, but not only that, we offer a safe and welcoming place for our community to gather, learn, play, and grow together. We also offer a multitude of activities, events, workshops, and classes for our community. Through the help of United Way, we're able to make these programs sustainable because we don't want them just to have those opportunities when they're in our library, but to be able to take these skills and new learning home with them. So in our classes that we offer, we have things like, of course, we have book clubs and our summer reading program and story times, but we also have things like we offer cooking classes and crochet and even yoga. One of our new popular ones is ukulele class. We've grown so much, we have ukulele classes in all 3 of our libraries, as well as ukulele clubs. United Way helps us with all these programs by helping us to make it sustainable by providing us with the funding to acquire materials for our libraries and for them to be able to take them home. We have craft kits for adults. We also have fun packs that we send home with the kids so that they can have little things they can do at home and practice their skills that they're learning at the library. So now to my one little story that's just a small way that we're making a difference in the lives of our families every day that might otherwise go unnoticed. We have a family in our community that had the grandparents had a grandson that is nonverbal and had some other developmental delays in social skills and behaviors. So we were encouraged them to bring him to the library. He's 3 years old. The grandparents made arrangements, although they were hesitant to get the child from the parents and make sure they had him on Wednesdays, which is story time day. They started bringing him to the library. About the 5th time that they were there, he made progress, of course, every little time he came. And then about the 5th time he was there for one of our summer reading events, all the kids are playing in our children's area. The adults are mingling, waiting for Smokey the Bear, actually. And I looked over, and the grandmother was just sobbing and in tears. The grandfather's got his arm around her, and of course, I'm the youth services director, and I'm over the event. So I go over and, are you okay? Is everything all right? And we find out that they were happy tears because watching their grandson play and interact with the other children there, it was the very first time that he had ever done that. So that was something, just one thing that we're grateful to get to be a part of in our libraries every day. And we're blessed to have United Way as our partner. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, everybody. I am Sally Nelson. I'm the Chief Operating Officer for Goodwill Kiowa here in Huntington. And I just wanted to put out there the funds that we receive from the United Way of River Cities help support our Goodwill counseling and therapy services. It specifically funds support in Southern Wayne County schools, Tulsa, Crum, and Kermit. The services that we provide to those three schools help to serve children, guardians, parents, grandparents, and teachers for those that are underinsured and not insured at all. The funds were designated to cover this service area to target the Southern Wayne County area because of transportation barriers that those folks are facing to get to Huntington. It's nearly impossible a lot of times. But we help to navigate issues through therapeutic counseling, focus on children that have had bad experiences with verbal abuse, physical, and sexual assault. Stress teachers. So if you guys ever taught, it can be very stressful. So we help to counsel those teachers that are stressed. And, really specifically parents and grandparents and guardians of children, need to talk to somebody. Well, we're there for them. But in particular, just really making sure that we were real intentional about serving a diverse population, and very fortunate to have the partnership of the United Way to make it happen. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay. Now we just need to recognize a couple people that are here online with us. From Catholic Charities, we have Katie Heineman, Heineman Klug. I'm sorry, Katie Heineman Klug. She's joining us online. Will give us a wave, Katie. There she is. And then we've got God's Hands at Work. I don't think she was able to join us, but Lisa Carroll was going to join us. And from Dress for Success, Sarah Hatfield. Are you on there, Sarah? Give us a wave. Thank you. From Dress for Success, we're really happy to work with them. We also have in our audience from Children's Home Society, Belinda Chapman. There's Belinda up there. Give us a wave. They do wonderful, wonderful work for our families. And we have Sarah Blevins from Branches Domestic Violence Center. Very good. Thank you all. All right. To wrap us up, and this is kind of okay, I got to wake you all up a little bit. Okay, so we're going to go. Okay, this is our theme for the campaign, okay? And the real word I want you to focus on this one is together, okay? So how about this? When I say creating opportunities, you all say together. Creating opportunities. Together. Creating opportunities. Creating opportunities. Take us home, Sarah.
Thank you all so much for being here as we officially kick off United Way of the River Cities 2024 campaign. This is one of my favorite times of the year because this is the time that we bring all of ourselves together with a shared purpose, which is creating opportunities for everyone who needs it. We make a difference in the lives of those who need it the most. I want to start by giving a big thank you to our incredible sponsors, Hammers Industries, and of course, Rod Atkins. Thank you so much for being here today. Next, I want to thank the donors, past, present, and future. You are the heart of this campaign. Your gifts, whether they may be big or small, that is the power behind what we do. That is our ability to create change comes from those gifts. Without you, none of this would be possible. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you for being the driving force behind this important work. Our annual campaign is how we raise the resources we need to fund the programs that support our community. These are the programs that help kids succeed in school, provide access to health services for everyone, and provide financial stability to families. This year's theme is creating opportunities
together.
And that's exactly what we're doing. We're coming together as a community to give everyone the tools and opportunities they need to thrive. We also have an incredible group of ambassadors in the room today, some past and some present. DR. And really, these folks are, they are the people who go out and make this campaign happen. They represent United Way in workplaces, spread the word about what we do, and help inspire others to give. Ambassadors, we are so grateful for your passion and dedication. You truly are the voice of United Way in our community, and we could not do this without you, so thank you. But now here's what I need from all of you. Whether it's giving, volunteering, or simply sharing our message, I ask each and every one of you to get involved in this year's campaign. Every contribution counts, and together we can continue to create lasting change. So let's make 2024 our best year yet.
Thank you all for coming. Thank you very much. Thank you.